Well, good morning. It's a fine misty morning. That sun's just starting to poke its way through, and you join me at one of my favourite little venues, Woodside Lakes. Now I've just got here, just making my way back to the net dip, the swim that I want to get in. Really nice guy, he's just packing up now, and just took some photos of a really pretty scaly fish. So yeah, I've just made my way back to the net dip to grab me sling, mat and that, just because I didn't want it dripping down onto everything on my barrow. And like I say, it's not a million miles away, it's like a 20-second walk until you get to the lake. So yeah, when you get into the fishery, if you ever visit, like I say, just come and grab your bits, give them a good drenching, just to make sure that you're killing any nasties before you enter the fishery. And like I say, dip, using your nets and stuff like that on the lake. But yeah, I'm going to be fishing a swim that I haven't fished before. Quite looking forward to it. I've been fishing really well of late, and my sort of challenge today is to see if I can nick myself a 20-pound fish. I've been twice before, and I've caught both times, so I'm probably jinxing myself now. But yeah, I'm looking to try and catch myself a bit of a challenge for a 20-pounder today. Try and grab myself a bigger fish. I know a few have been coming out of late, so they are in there. They are hungry, hopefully. And yeah, I'm going to go and try and bag myself one, so I'll leave it there and I'll catch up with you shortly. Right, so we are in the peg that I am going to be in for my session today, day session. So the tactical pod is set up. That is 3 rods. You're allowed down here. 3 rods just up against the chair there. Going to go probably 1 on the solid bag and 2 on slip D rigs, just because, like I say, I was down at the net dip. I want to try and nick a bigger fish, really. I just wonder, although the solid bags are good at playing the numbers game with the fish, and they do buy you a bite, I'm hoping that maybe just a couple of sort of bigger baits, boilies and stuff like that around, just a handful of scattered boilies around the actual slip D rigs and wafters might just buy me a bigger fish. But I have got pretty much half of the lake to myself, so I've got all that area, and obviously what's in front of what usually is a double swim, it's just a single swim, obviously for social distancing. But that was a fish there, don't know if you can see that, right up in here, right in the margins that was. But yeah, I've definitely got a number of options for this session, so I'm itching to get the rods sorted. So let me do that, let me get the rods out, and then we can see what we can do throughout the day. All 3 rods all rigged up, and yeah, since I've been doing that, I've seen a number of shows already, sort of out into the bulk of the main water. There is like a sunken island that is amongst sort of that open water area, and yeah, I've seen a good 2 or 3 rolls on that already. I've even had shows off this back margin, and there's an orange stick that sticks up. It has no meaning, no purpose. I asked the owner of the lake, what is a stick all about? Is it a feeding point that you go around to or anything like that? And it's not. It's just there, I think, from when they were doing the lake and stuff. But it's where Matt had a fish from when we fished it just after lockdown for 24 hours. And what I've done is I've cast a bare lead over from my swim and wrapped it around the sticks, as you would have saw early doors, just so I know that spot from this swim is 13 wraps to allow from the weight of the solid bag. That should get bang tight to that far margin. And like I say, that is where my friend Matt had a fish from last time we were out. So yeah, so that's 2 spots. I've done about the margin now, because I'm seeing so much activity out in the open water. So what I might do is just trickle a little bit of bait down in the margin, and maybe fish it like later on this afternoon, maybe sort of 4 o'clock onwards, something like that, when the sort of day's drawing on a bit. I've got till 7 o'clock, so there's always time to maybe get like an early evening bite. And then what I might do with my right hander is just get it onto this bit where we're going, sorry, my right hander, I might get it somewhere along this stretch where it leads out into sort of like the bottom end of the lake, just in case there's anything patrolling through. And again, I've had a fish off that sort of shorter side back in winter, tight up against the bank as well. So I've got options. I've got loads of options. I could fish with 6 rods in this swim, to be honest, and look to cover all bases. But for now, I'm going to just fish to where I've seen fish, and obviously go from there, really see what happens throughout the day. So I'm going to get the rods out now. I'm itching to get the rods out. Just been having a little chat with one of the other anglers, that's a local, just been giving me a few little pointers and stuff like that as well, which is always good to get sort of inside knowledge from people that regularly fish the lakes, if they're open and honest enough to give you information. So it's good to take on board and take forward into your sessions. So I'm going to shut up now. I'm going to get the rods out. I can sit back and have a brew. Nice chunky common on the mat. Check this one out. Saying to myself, you know, do away with the solid bags. You know, ideally I want to try and break the 20-pound barrier this session, and I just stuck on the solid bags on one rod, hoping that, you know, I'd buy myself sort of a couple of bites through the day, and hopefully then pick off a better fish on the wafter rigs and sort of baited rigs. And this one, like I say, has gone rattling off, and I've got a feeling this has probably definitely done the 20 pound barrier. Look at this for a common. Look at that, absolute minter. Solid bag, cast over to the spot where Matt had his fish a few weeks ago, few inches off the edge of the far margin, and this one has belted off. Absolutely immaculate. The other side is looking, whoa, the other side is looking just as clean, just as epic. Oi! And he's just got my glasses absolutely drenched. Let's give him a bit more water. It's quite a muggy day today, quite toasty. But this fish has just made my session worth it. Look at that, absolute chunk, made up, solid bag, pink, washed out pink, krillin tuna, bait tech wafter, cast tight to the far margin, and yeah, probably less than an hour and it's rattled off. Result. Yeah, I was not expecting that. My first 20 from the venue, immaculate full bellied common. And yeah, I've done the challenge with my first fish. What's the chances of that? And it's just ironic that I said a solid bag would be the downfall with some of the smaller residents within the lake. And yeah, Bosch first cast, like I say, been out probably, I don't know, and I'll say an hour, give or take, and it's absolutely rattled off. And we got a big fat common just wallowing in over the surface and into the net. So mega happy with that. Yeah, obviously got the 2 rods out still remaining out. I have to redo this solid bag now. The old pink, washed out pink, doing me the bites again. And yeah, we carry on where we left off. One has just literally boshed out in the little island area, and it seems like the fish are really responding to this little bit of warmth. So I'm going to shut up now, get this rod back out, sit back, and see if I can get a brew on the go. Right, okay, so before I get the rod back out, that solid bag rod, I'm not going to teach you to suck eggs, but I've made the solid bag up nice and compact, ready to be punched out to that spot at 13 wraps. rather than show you what I do to tie my solid bag up, because there's nothing revolutionary, I'm just going to tell you basically about a little tip that I have shared once or twice before in my other videos when I use solid bags, and that is basically injecting the bag with a PVA friendly liquid or an oil. On this occasion I've changed it up a little bit. I used to use hot chili oil, but whilst having a little route around the shed yesterday, fancied a little change, going with the krill and tuna oil. So all I need to do, unscrew the bottle. Then what I do is I get an oral syringe. There's no needle or anything on it, as you can see. It is just literally the plastic oral syringe. You can, excuse me. Right, so where were we? Solid bag made. Krill and tuna oil ready to go. Oral syringe. All I'm going to do, just basically draw out some liquid with the oral syringe. So that is then full. Pop the lid back on that, so I know what's going to happen. And then just before casting out, what I'm doing is just basically stabbing it into the bag and just pushing it down inside the bag. Just rub any excess off, save it dripping all over my back and my hat. And as you can see, the oil is basically inside the bag. That gives you more than enough time now to get yourself planted, ready for the cast, and get it back out onto your spot. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. And yeah, I hope that little tip catches you a few more fish when using solid bags. We got number 2 on the mat, and he's croaking and he's scrapping me and he's trying to slap me with his tail. Basically he's trying to give me a good beating. But look at this dorsal hasn't gone down since we've had him in the net. But what an angry fish. Give me a great scrap underneath the rod tip, and yeah, giving me just as much of a good a scrap on the mat as well. This one though was taken on a krill and tuna bottom bait, just tipped off with a little bit of pink imitation slow sinking dumbbell, just chopped down fine, really fine, just as a bit of a tipper really. And that was amongst sort of, I don't know, 10-12 freebies. And yeah, absolutely hooped the rod round. Funnily enough though, he's been on the munch because he's pooing out little bits of hemp, all the sort of you know, the casing of the hemp, the little bit, you know, the hemp shell all over the mat. So he's definitely been on a bit of feed. But look at this mega fish. Look at how clean it is. Scale pattern on him, and like I said, look at the dorsal. The temperature's warming up, and so's the fishing, which is surprising, to be honest. I didn't, going by the way that this morning's weather is getting hotter and hotter, I didn't expect any more action, to be quite honest. But look at him, mega fish, well happy. I am gonna slip him back. It's getting warm. Make sure you keep them nice, keep them nice and wet whilst they're on the mat. Keep all your mat and your sling and all that wet. So that's another little tip there for you. If it is, the sun is up like today, keep everything drenched wet through. The fish as well, keep them all comfortable, and then you can get them back safely to fight another day. Chilling out by the rods, really hot day, and yeah, that right hand rod absolutely hooped round. I was not expecting that, and it's like, what a mega fish as well, like 16 pounds, like just over 16 pound, but angry. His dorsal did not go down from the minute that it was in the net to the minute that it went back. And yeah, what a mega looking fish. Well happy with that one. Taking on just krill and tuna over to the sort of break in the reeds. And half a dozen, well, say about half a dozen to 10 freebies that have been washed out overnight, and that's just enough to tempt a bite. So I am absolutely roasting. I don't know, it's probably about 20 degrees today, easy, and I am sweating my nuts off. Today is a black t-shirt, not a black t-shirt. I've got a black t-shirt on, it's not a black t-shirt kind of day. I am sweating like mad, and I've got really thick joggers on as well, and yeah, not a great choice in fishing attire today, but who cares, we've had 2 fish, and that's all what matters. So I'm happy to put myself through it if it means I'm getting fish on the bank. I need to sort this rod out and get it back out onto the spot, and get myself a drink of water because I am gasping. So well happy with that. Wonder if we can make it a hat trick today, but yeah, until then let's leave it there. I'll catch it with you in a little while. Oh yeah, another one bites of dust. Solid bags, baby. So it's just sat there roasting alive because it has been proper warm, as I mentioned in that previous bit of footage. And yeah, lo and behold, the solid bag rod rattles off again. And I've got a, as you can see, angry common. We've managed to get a few snaps quickly, just for Rich and his records. But yeah, look at that one. Proper lean mean machine, fighting machine, because that's what he's doing on the mat. Absolutely duffing me in, absolutely drenched me. I'm covered. Luckily the camera's not, but yeah, look at that one. Happy days. 3 bites and it's 1 o'clock, so all made up with this. Done a few snaps, so let's slip it back. Okay, so while the rod's in, I'm just going to quickly show you what I'm using today, or how I got my solid bag rod set up really. You may have seen this, as I said, on previous videos, but just for the sake of this session, it is sort of a foot or so of tubing, quarter tubing, down to a solid bag stem, which I just slide the tube in inside like so, to push that down 1 inch or so, and it comes nice and snug. And that's onto a 2.5 ounce flat inline pair. Get that down on there, so that all just fits streamlined, nice and snug. Quarter solid bag stem onto the little bit of the inside tubing, the stem of the actual inline lead. That will fit snug on there. Main line is tied to quick change swivel, which all again pulls flush inside the lead, as so. Tiny little anti-tangle sleeve there, just to keep the rig in place over the quick change swivel. Little 3.5 inch solid bag rig, wide gape, bit of shrink tubing on the eye of the hook, just because I'm a bit anal and just like it being tidy, and a little bit of shrink tubing on the shank of the hook. And yeah, that just comes down to like a hair basically. So that's pretty much the setup. Simple, safe, effective, reliable, and yeah, a solid bag setup that I've used for quite a while now, with no aggro, no dramas. You can take it anywhere, you know, where there's leader bands and stuff like that, and that allows you to fish safely, effectively, and most importantly get bites. So on the hook I am using Bait Tech 10mm Wafters krill and tuna, and for the last few sessions for my session down here and a lot of other places, as you can imagine, they love the old pink. So depending on how the rest of the day goes, these are the last 2 remaining pink I've got in the pot. So that might just be enough for me to get 2 more bites today before I have to then switch to either washed out yellow or obviously like a dull white as such. So there might be just two bites left in the bag for these two 10mm wafters. So let's get one of these on the let's get one of these on the rig, get it tied back up, get it back up there, see if we can nick ourselves another fish. It's just coming up to 4 o'clock-ish, and it's all gone quiet. It's definitely, this weather's probably had something to do with it. It's absolutely roasting, easily 20 degrees I reckon, without a doubt. But as obviously the afternoon and the evening draws on, I've got till 7 o'clock, so what I'm going to do, as I mentioned earlier, I was going to bring one of the rods into the margin. I've been spooning, just spraying like tiny little bits, and loaded the liquid out of the bucket that I've been using for washing out my baits in. It's obviously become all oily and pungent, so I've been flicking that out just to my left in the margin. And then I've got a bucket, and I've basically just mushed up the last remaining couple of scoops of bait in there, so it's just purely a mush, no real food value. It's just like tiny little bits of washed out boilie pellet, and yeah, it's just purely like a massive, going to be like a massive cloud, and hopefully just drawing fish from any fish that maybe pass through the margins in the next couple of hours. But yeah, like I say, the solid bag rod and the right hand rod have both done fish. The left hander that I had on top of the sort of sunken island, the shallower area, hasn't done anything, which I'm surprised about, to be quite honest with you. I thought that would have been one that would have gone, just because of obviously the depth of the water and this you know, this heat beaming down on it from above. But yeah, nothing's happened with that one, so I am going to get the left hander in, lower it down into the margin, and just flick a couple of spoons of that slop over it, and sit back and wait. I'm going to do a bit of a live stream on my YouTube channel, so when you come to watch this video, you might actually see the live stream from the bank. Just going to do that for half an hour. I've done a couple of other sessions as well, so quite enjoy doing that. But yeah, the day's flown by. I don't actually know where the day has gone, to be quite honest. Rig wise, I'm going to drop down there. It's just exactly what caught me that fish earlier, the krill and tuna fish, but this time just topped off with a bit of yellow, just a boilie. I might just whittle it down slightly more before I actually drop it in. And yeah, under there it's just a real basic slip D rig, so that's what I'm going to do. I think for the last few hours, really, just to see out the remainder of the session. There are 2 more anglers due on for a 7 o'clock start, so I want to make sure that I'm nice and ready and packed up before they you know, sort of before they arrive, really, just so that they can jump in probably here and next door swim. So that's enough from me for now. Bit of an update for you. Let's get this other rod in, get this margin rod sorted, and we can chill out for the last couple of hours of session, and maybe try and nick one more fish before we have to go. Oh wow, you're never going to believe it. Look over there. 1 rod left. Just chatting to Rich. He's come around for his evening walk. Just have a little chat. And yeah, the rod that you see me put down the margin, that has absolutely hooped it round. And yeah, had a little scamp of a comment on that. And whilst I was playing it, trying to stop it from getting into the reeds. The middle rod, solid bag rod, has absolutely rattled off. So yeah, Rich has had to play that one whilst I'm playing the other one. Rich takes the little one off me whilst he's in the net, get that unhooked, sends that on its way, and I'm left playing this one. And yeah, like I say, got another little comment in the net. So let's get him out, have a quick look on the mat. I've got 2 rods to sort out, slipping back, and yeah, we can go again. What absolute madness. And I don't know if you can tell, but I am roasting. But yeah, this is a better one of the two. A smaller one from the margin. We've slipped back just so that we had the net to land this one. But as you can see, this one is about to kick off on the mat. Bending double on himself, and got the dorsal up just like the other one, croaking away. But look at him, proper cool little angry character, Mr. Angry Common. Little sore on the other side, and just treated that. But yeah, happy days, taking on the solid bag again. And I've got one washed out pink 10mm wafter left in the pot to try and nick myself another bite. So I'm going to slip him back and see if we can nick ourselves another bite before home time. Well, time is drawing on and it's nearly 7 o'clock. The next angler, or anglers even, have turned up ready for their 48 hours. I'm just in the process of packing down my stuff. Not that there's much out, just got to sort the mats, just try to dry them off as much as possible. It's just like me, rods and hat left now, as always, just trying to milk every minute. But to be honest, I've had a really good session anyway, so I'm not really going to take the mick too much. Just going to get the luggage and that sorted, and then yeah, get it all packed away and get it on the barrow and get myself off home. If you have watched the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment below, thumbs up, you know, all that business. Like I say, just so I appreciate you coming over to the channel and watching the videos, really. Hope you've enjoyed this one. I thoroughly have, although I'm absolutely knackered, starving, and in a good need of a shower. So I'm going to leave it there, get the rest of this packed up, and I will catch you on the bank sometime soon. Thanks for watching.